Oh hi, it's Bukai, and welcome back to another video for The Guild 3 on our Fisherman's Start. And you can see there, the boy has become the mayor, one step away from the sovereign. Now, this is the last episode on this series, just simply considering we have gotten an update on the actual game. So what that means is all old save files are unfortunately no longer compatible. Such is the case with an early access game, but you know what? It is what it is. The boy did not make it to the sovereign, but instead what we had done was we were setting up to essentially have a sovereign reach an early retirement throughout this video, and there is some nice war that starts up. So pay attention and stay tuned, and you shall see. And the earth itself shall be thine to have and to hold. I'm going through my actual mill. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. How can I supply from my mill to my bake shop? Because my bake shop keeps going AFK. Now, this is because Bukai be Bukai and Bukai be dumb sometimes. And I accidentally never changed them from adhere to storage rules rather than sending them to go back to the bakehouse. So it's one reason why the bakehouse just never was able to keep supplied. Live and learn, live and learn. I think I should try out for another playthrough, a bakehouse start. But I also want to do the inn again, because considering the inn and the new update is just so good due to the fact that now customers actually buy at a premium the goods that you produce. So this means my inn will be stupid profitable. Stupid profitable. But you can see there, as I was saying, the adhere to storage rules. I never fixed that. And I never fixed that for Uta either. And it's one reason why some of my businesses just were not functioning properly. I was making some good money with the Fisher's Shack, but I was never able to actually turn around and make the serious profit from it. But you know, it is what it is. Like there, you can see the issue. I drop it off at the flowering business rather than dropping off the milled. So my croft was going directly to the actual shop, filling the bake shop with useless goods that he had to dump, and basically make another trip, just making it pointless. And you can see here that we are just climbing up. We're trying to take over every candidacy with all of our people. We're taking back up into the good old-fashioned center of the politics. We've taken the mayorship. We're starting to try to climb up to the very top. Like you can see, the boy is now trying to push forward his wives, his mothers, and his sister-in-laws, as well as his brother. Like, it's just pure corruption. But, you know, 'tis what it is, 'tis what it is, as we are going to win the city legate, but we're going to be fighting for it, as someone is going to try to compete with us for it. But, unfortunately, writing a pamphlet on me is why my reputation has been dying. You're my ally. And if anybody knows in the comment below on how to fix this, I give him death. But how do I find those pamphlets and tear them down? I remember in the Guild 2, you had a notice board that was up that you would be able to run up to and tear it down. You could exploit to tear down up to 6, but apparently you could also use all of your other characters through your family tree and tear down more. But this is how it kind of works, where in this game, I don't see a notice board. If I'm just blind, let me know. But if you guys know where to find these notice boards, it'd be really helpful. Because you can see I'm just running around trying to find it. And I get re-invited back to the Guild of the Merchants. But right now, I haven't really done any delving into the overseas trade or using the counting houses. I just decided to stick with the Guild of the Craftsmen for the 10% productivity. I'm sure that it's a bit better, but, you know, it is what it is. And there it is. He has been sentenced to death. The anticipated punishment was 6 rounds of prison, but no. I vote death. Death to every lie. And there he goes. He is no longer going to be competing with me trying to get up into the city legate. He's no longer holding the arsenal. And you can see here, he is about to hang. Rot and rot and rot. I wish that you could, like in the Guild 2, you could hear them kind of talking. Where is the sin? Or where there is sin, there is punishment. Yep. Gather around and watch as the hammer drops. For a quick drop and a short stop. And there he goes. He is Well, he's still on there, but there he goes.
Has died.
Yep. Rip. So I'm just checking out to see how my business is flourishing, and you can see that moving into the bone bracer as well as the alluring skulls seem to have worked out, despite Uta not supplying us, and I just decided to set it up as 10, and I was thinking to eventually start checking out the fishing shack to see if I could fix something, but never could and never needed to be honest. It's just nature of the beast. So I decided to pick up a ton of linen sacks in order to supply my actual mill. Now, I'm kicking myself for never figuring this out of the actual close to the wind and actually setting up the mill to dump off at the bake shop, because that's all they really should have been doing. I should have gotten 2 transports, 1 adherence to the storage rules, and then 1 dropping off. And you can see I'm just firing through all of these guys as I just don't have enough. I should have bought an additional storage person and fixed that. Never did. And as a result, 2 businesses just floundered. Lack of a better term. Now, Hans, I'm sending to try to do some good old-fashioned escorting of the boy and protecting some of my farms, considering there's some lands connects that are running around collecting protection monies. And you can see, so I kind of want to have Hans just basically set up and beat down any Landsknecht that decides to try to collect from me. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. And there it is. The bakery is again production halted because they just can't keep supplied and they have to buy the supplies when I'm already producing the supplies. I'm just not shipping the supplies to here, and I'm not actually shipping the supplies back to the bake shop. Basically, in other words, this whole chain was broken, and I probably would have caught it based on the comments and would have fixed it for the next episode. But again, like I said, this is unfortunately the final episode, and it was never caught. And next time I'll try to fix it up. But you can start to see that my kids are starting to finish school, and I am basically being ruthless and saying, go back to work for the family. Mainly because I can't afford right now to send you back to school. I am bottoming myself out at 1,000. Not really running that profitable right now due to the fact that several of my businesses are just flat out doing nothing. And this isn't good. Gilbert, I might want to just buy you a horse so that way you can start to empty out the butchery shop a bit faster, as you're only really able to carry 40 at a time, and this just isn't profitable based on the amount of beef that you're getting. With that said, you know, my money is starting to pick up, but I'm taking a look at how much I've actually made, and it's like, I'm running an operational loss right now. This ain't good. Yeah, negative 860.
Buy me something nice.
Not what you want. Not what you want at all. So Lise is almost ready to go to school, and I'm just shy of the money. I'm not sure. I'm debating whether I even should. But 5k to 250 reputation ain't bad at all. As you see there, my money was going down, not up, due to paying wages, and now it's starting to slowly climb, but wages are costing a fair bit, And I'm not sure how to... Well, I mean, I do know how to fix it, but at the time, I just never did. And you can see Hans is kind of decked out for an early game build. He is just missing the proper armor, which makes him not as deep. I'm not as good at taking down Landsknechts, but good at taking down unequipped Landsknechts, because axes are pretty brutal in this game. So I'm checking out my bake shop, and you can see that it's just losing a ton of money. It's not making any profit, it's just losing money, and I really should have just dumped and sold the business. I was pig-headed, stubborn, and trying to keep it running, keep it up and going, but A, it's not in the best area, B, it's just not, the logistics are not set up for it, but I pig-headedly stuck with it, despite the fact that you saw there, it was losing like 14k in a round. That's too much. If I didn't have that building, I would not be struggling for money, and it's not so much as that building being the issue, but my entire logistics set up to supply that building. Live and learn, as they say, live and learn. So it's here that I do kind of set up the business trade a little bit better. But it's still not enough to fix the actual problem that I'm having with the bake shop. It took me a while to figure it out before I even reached this point, and I'm kind of just sifting through, and I go, okay, so a flowering business. I need to pick up 10 of the proper goods, so let me see. Trying to find it. Where is it? Where is it? There she be, wheat flour, which means we should be able to pick up, I would say, 10. 10's a decent number, and then we go down and drop off 10 more. But I bet a lot of you can already see the issue. I'm going from a flowering business to a flowering business. I never set them to the mill. So I'm looking to see, okay, yeah, it looks like you're doing the route, but you're not. Ooh, and the arsenal mastery is opened up, which means that it is time to move another person up. But I actually think all my slots are filled. And I'm just cycling through on the different wives, and I realize they're all just applying.
Your reputation has increased.
And that's it. That's the amount of adults that I have. And I decide to send Lise to school, as it's a bit late, but, you know, it is what it is. She can still get a ton of experience. And it's here that I decide to take Ohai and start to just dump all of these meat. I want to make as much profit as possible, and I'm just trying to gather up enough money to essentially get the next title, so I can start applying to the sovereignship, as well as just take down the sovereign. I'm at the point where I just want to win. That's it. And it is here that someone starts breaking into my buildings, and I start getting real mad. And I go, okay, what's going on? Who's breaking into my buildings? The minstrel hut's being broken into. So it's time to dump a lot of money into upgrading a lot of my good old-fashioned security. I'm allied with most of the dynasties, and so I'm wondering, well, who is breaking in? And as I decide to, I gotta keep setting up Ohai to go and run down to the butcheries and just make myself the money. I will open up back to the Dynasty tree as I look for it. But I'm going, how to spend my money? The agriculture level 4, or do I go into the baker 3? And again, someone's broken into my buildings, and now I'm going, okay, someone is seriously starting to mess with me and has realized that I've got money. Who? And I start flipping around and looking. I'm like, okay, well, nobody owns this smuggler's hut. So who? Who is breaking into my buildings? Okay, I'm allied with them, which means that they can't actually break into me. And even though they're still on a full patron build, then I find these guys. Thieves' Den, Robbers' Camp, Thieves' Den, Thieves' Den. Yep. Yep. You've got a small little family, but a larger one than me. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this at all. And wow, they had Kid at 46 and 46? How lucky can you be? So I checked the stats of this henchman, and, you know, he's got a low dex. I'm deciding whether he should be used or become expendable. And it's here in winter of 1430 that you're going to start to see a war. And this is where the war starts to build up and break out. Now, I do make some mistakes, as I could have just used this guy until he was sacked, but instead I decide to just use him for a one and burn type ability. So I actually buy a poison dagger, considering that thing just melts people. Melts them. A handgun probably would have been better, because you can just run up and go bang, and that's it, you win. I give him a shield, and I give him some plates, and I make sure that he is fully loaded. The riding horse, and we begin with the 16-year-old unscrupulous man about to go and commit some nefarious left-handed deeds. And that is why we truly fired some employees, because we need to find out who is left-handed or not. Evidence. There's the evidence. You are fully breaking into my buildings. I'm not liking you. It's time. It's time to lodge that complaint. And because I'm also lodging a complaint, who is your head of your family? On this one, I'm not sure who to vote for, but I decide to take the 47-year-old. And again, another broken into the building. And this time you broke into my butchery, which actually has some decent cash in it. I ain't happy with this. It did remind me to go back to my butchery and just basically turn Ohio on, but it's over now. It is over. We're going to be decking this guy up into a intimidation build, sending him right back to school, spending some decent amount of money, and then it is time. We go to the family, we click on their family tree, click on her, and you can see it in the bottom corner. The two options: the open hand of mercy and the closed fist of violence. I'm still not 100% sure what I should do, what the decision is, and so I decide to basically follow, and I notice attacking is legal.
Pleased to see you.
Oh boy, it's time to just attack her and make them just pay for continuously getting hurt. Just slowly bleed them dry if they're going to be breaking into my buildings. Mine. And this is where the jankery starts coming in for the actual characters. My character will run over here to attack. He won't attack because she is actually declared in the building and waiting. So I keep trying a couple times because I see her and then I go, oh, okay, select a conscious person who's not in a building. Ah, I see, said the blind man who said as he saw. So I decided to check out the hospital, and I realized she's going to be waiting a while. And this is where I start looking, she's just hurt, and that's why she's paying. And I go, declare a feud. This is it. This is what I need to do. It is time for a blood war. You break into my buildings, that's it. It's war. And I first hit cancel, because I'm thinking, okay, well, that's just going to make them declare more war, or break into my buildings more. So I probably don't want to do that, because they're going to be breaking into other people's buildings, and if I declare a feud, they get priority. Now, the advantage in the feud is when I actually start wanting to get into the murdering. And I'm looking at my roguery, considering I'm thinking, how do I want to go about this? Do I get some mercenaries? And that's what I decide to do, is get some mercenaries up. I decide to upgrade it a little bit more into getting up to the 15k, because I want to have my buildings protected, and I want to grab some random mercs and be able to straight up attack them whenever I can. And here's a guy just waiting outside of the hospital. Nothing suspicious here. He's just sharpening an axe, waiting for Caroline to come out. And the second she gets treated, well, she's going to get swung at. Now, it's here that I vote for the oldest person, considering they're not going to be in the politics that long. So the longer I can do that, the better it is. And I vote for myself with Beatrice to boost her up.
What do you want?
Come on. Finish waiting, darling. Missing lock. Blah, 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 blah. There's your hex code. What do I care? I'll stay poor anyway. And someone has lost reputation with me, so that means that there's probably a notice or something there, or I failed. Now this is where I see that they've got the thieves' den up there, and I'm trying to decide what I should do. As I take my henchman and I run him down, because I realize I could just steal that thieves' den from you, and that will cost you a lot more. Cost me 3k, but I can sell that business for probably 3.85k. And it's legal. I'm going to run forward, pay to take it, and it will be mine. And it will be legally mine. But for some reason, you can see, he stops. And now that Caroline is getting treated, I'm going to then run another person up, as she is almost out into the open, out into the wild. So here you can see that I am starting to take down this building and capturing it. The flag slowly goes down, and I do kind of decide, let's actually declare the feud full on. It's going to flag them up as red on my map, and my buildings are going to get broken into a lot. They're going to be broken into. And it is here that I see her running down, and it is time to make my move and attack her. But you can see the fight or flight mechanic kicks in, and she runs away at the speed of a horse. This is the most frustrating part of the Guild 3, and the devs need to fix this. Because there is no reason why my character should stop when he has hit the attack, and the person should be able to run at the speed of a horse. The horse should get a charge bonus if I have an attack. It takes me around 3 to 4 clicks, while it takes them 1 to escape. makes it really hard to pursue and take down someone to perform these less than legal acts. And right now, attacking her is legal. And she's inside of her house. I can't touch her. Thankfully, she runs out, but it still is frustrating due to the fact that I gotta chase her or move the speed down to 0.05 when I'm trying to win a war. And you can see that I'm just trying to hunt down to see if I see any red on the map as I have Hans selected. But I don't see them right away, and so what I decide to do is I eventually do find one. And he also is going to run away at the speed of a horse. But I do believe I catch him eventually. So I'm just following, making sure he doesn't get into a building. And there you go. He gets experience, but the fight never happens because the character is already running away. Thus, it kind of seems to skip the whole attack dialogue. Complete and utter frustration. And you can see, look how fast he's running. And look how slow my horse is going. This makes no sense. I'm on 0.5 speed, but he is moving at the speed or faster than my horse, despite the fact that I've given an attack command. And he's on foot. There should be no reason for this. None. And look, I caught up. No fight, but I get experience. Oh, but he's in a dialogue, considering that bypassed it. This sounds like it was a fix from the palmistry exploit, where you could actually lock somebody in. But it seems like they went way too on the other end. And there we go. He has now finished his conversation, and I'm just getting ready. Come on. Finish it. Finish it. Nothing happens. This is the most frustrating part of the Guild 3. Why can I not attack you? You are not in a house. Oh look, now you're running away. Now you're moving. Now you can actually execute a command. But the issue is I can't attack you. Just frustrating that it takes this long to attack one member of the Dynasty. Should not take this long. Should not have this many attacks. And there we go. Experience, nothing. He turns away and runs. And I'm just frustrated at this point. I realize I declared a feud. They're probably going to win this just due to the fact of the janky mechanics. Devs, please fix this. This is utterly broken. My guys should not run up, start a fight, +7 experience, and do nothing. That just should not be how this works, and they should not run at the speed of a horse. So I just go up to speed 3, just hoping that he can catch him. Following along as I can, and slowing back down to normal to see if I can even catch up. And let's see. Yep, there we go. Now a fight is finally broken out. And I'm going to win really fast. They're breaking into my buildings more, which is sucking, but not much I can do. And it's here that I kind of wait for a little bit of guards to pass and for others, and I go to steal first to see if I can get anything from him, because it's legal, and a guard passes. 2 gold, 20 experience, meh. But for some reason, that let him like me more. Don't know why. And I decide, let's go for it. Action, kill, what does it matter? 59% to see if we actually take him out. And I believe I wait too long and he stands up. Which does suck, but, you know, it is what it is. And we're going to attack him again. Make sure to keep him down. And we are going to go in action, kill, and just straight up take him out. Broad daylight in the middle of the road. There we go. And now Joaquin has died. So now that we have taken out Joaquin, or at least I decided that I need to try to unequip everything off of Hans. This, I think, wasn't necessary and just cost me more for the actual deed. Now, my line of thinking was that, okay, I'm either going to have to pay a massive fine for getting rid of him, or, which is going to cost me a lot more than just the simple rehire, because if I fire and rehire, he's no longer my employee. That was just my line of thinking. I'm not sure if it would work. But at the same time, I think it was a big mistake, because, quite simply put, I could have just left Hans as he is, because I own the government. I own the courts. I just have to say not guilty, and then suddenly what happens? When I put not guilty on multiple people. And going from here, I decide I'm tired of being broken into. It is time to empty my bank account and upgrade everything. And I mean everything. Building security doesn't seem to work the same way as it did in the Guild 2. So there's something that drove me nuts, or at least just slightly nuts. I think it has something to do with perception, to be honest, as I hadn't been upgrading my perception on my employees versus the way it kind of worked in Guild 2 was building security was just really, really good and made it a lot harder to break in, at least from what I have found. It's either that or the AI here at least knows how to break into buildings compared to before. And now that I have fired that employee, I do think that I could have gotten away without doing that, but I do decide, let us buy Dagobert, which is a new henchman. And I try to equip him, and it takes me a little bit before I figure out, even though you just hired this guy, he's standing outside of the building, so that means you gotta close the building and click on him and send him back into the building to re-equip him. And I'm trying to figure this out quickly before my buildings get broken into, and I lose some of this expensive gear. Like, this stuff ain't cheap. So my pub is full again, and that's making all my workers vacant and not doing anything. And I realize I've got a ton of roast beef here. That's a decent chunk of change. I should run my guy all the way back and collect some money. Especially now that I've dumped all of my cash. The windmill just never is able to keep up with its production. I really messed up. And I did get an invite to the Guild of the Alchemists, which is surprising, to be honest. And I'm looking at the family tree that I gotta fight, and there's literally 4 adults left, and there is a minimum of 3 turns before their children are of age. I got time. I got time. And I'm taking a look at all the different thieves' dens that they have, considering my idea is I might want to start to, because I've captured these buildings, or at least taken it out of their control and brought it back to neutral, I've decided that I might want to start to take over all of them in order to reduce the amount of time that they can keep capturing my buildings. What I should be doing is that I should, if I'm doing this firing method, I should use him to go and kill the actual opposing dynasty and then capture a building afterwards, or fire and rehire a new character. That should have been the path. And then once I've equipped up Dagbert, I notice, hey, Cecile is standing right here. I should just attack her. I should be able to get away with it. And bam, all of a sudden, minus 111 health. How in the hell did she take 111 of my health? Like, just popped up, boom, dead. What? What? I then scroll up to see, like, what did she have? Did she have a gun? It didn't look like she had a pistol on her, but...
I have nothing to say to you.
And no, she didn't. She does have a dark talisman, which means that she's probably doing some... She's probably gone into the evil path, and so probably had some kind of ability that dropped me. Like a one-use, a one-shot, but I don't know. Like, that seems like a glitch. There's no reason why I should have taken 111 damage from a single hit.
Yeah.
That guy should have taken her out. And I should have also, once he stood up, fired him, rehired, but I didn't. I decided to heal him up once he stands up. And there it is. So they're continuously breaking into my buildings, and I really do need to take the actual roast beefs out, simply considering that's a lot of cash. And I do not want that stolen. And yeah, you can see that they broke into Warm and Winter, but Warm and Winter has maxed out my burglary. If anybody knows, they could let me know in the comment below the best way to prevent your houses from getting broken into, because it seems like you can't just... Like, there it is, another broken. Minstrel's tent, there's nothing there, so I don't know why. But if anybody knows of a way how to protect it, aside from just guarding the building, but then you don't have enough henchmen to guard every one of your businesses, it just makes it annoying. I'm guessing that it's just the perception of the employees. And there's Cecile again, and I decide, you know what, it's legal, I should just attack her right now. If it was a gun, she doesn't have anything more, but I'm not thinking, and I use Ohai Bukai. And that is the start of my entire character, but she ran away this time, which is a good sign. However annoying, but a good sign. And it just drives me nuts. Look how fast she's running! She's outspeeding and gaining distance on my horse. Ah, this isn't Cecile, this is Caroline, my mistake. But still, why is she running so fast? And there, I can see that someone is scouting out my building. Not liking that. It's a good thing I did empty out the pub. And there she goes. And I realize, oh, this is Bukai. I can't actually end her, so I'm just gonna rob her. So then I decide to take Fritz, and I send him to go to conquer the building to take out their second thieves' den. I really don't like that these guys are having thieves' dens coming up. They are buying the quarry daily, which is a decent chunk of cash. Now, Dagbird is being treated, so I gotta let him sit for a little bit. And Kim hasn't really got a task, so I do send him down to try to wait for the next thieves' den to pop up. And you can see here from the score, I'm starting to just pass and eclipse everyone, as I'm on the path to just victory. So I take Ohio and I decide it's time to start to empty a little bit of this shop, as the pub needs to be functioning and it currently is nowhere near. And you can see there that Caroline is the new gate guard and people are not happy with it, so that is a good sign. So now that Dagbird is about halfway healed, I'm deciding whether I should use him to attack or whether I should use him to just conquer. And something weird is happening here. My guy who's trying to conquer this building is working with a thief to gain a little bit of cash. I don't understand. But whatever, I gain a gold out of it. So I catch wind of a thief going out of the thieves' den that I was waiting to go take over, and I decide to attack him with it. And this is just really, really good. However, you know, minus 2% speed, minus 2 bonus from bargaining, doesn't matter. Because look how much health he just took down. And then I catch wind of, ooh, who is that? Aw, it is a kid, but then is that whom I think it is? And Kim is not going to be gathering up a lot of cash, and so what I decide to do is, I'm trying to decide whether I wait to actually take over that, or if I run across and use him to fight, and I do decide just to wait, which I think is a bit of a mistake. And stop this now! Why does our sovereign allow this? Someone's taking over a thieves' den. What a brazen thing to do! Oh my goodness gracious, it's a thieves' den that we're at war with them. We're in a blood feud. And you can see that they're spending some money just building new thieves' dens. It's costing them a fair bit to keep doing, as I think a thieves' den is slightly less than the amount that I'm making, but the difference is that they do not have a lot of businesses that are producing a decent chunk of cash. So this is attritional warfare. I can afford it, they can't. Sucks to be them. So now that Fritz has turned that one building back into neutral, it's time to just abandon it. I can buy it, but I don't have the right title. If I had the right title, I could capture it. That's something that I should be spending my money on in the influence, is just upgrading to the next title. It's 1432. We are entering into spring. And I'm trying to decide what to spend my money on, and there it is. I go for Baron. The reason why I decide to go up there is, like I said, to get the next advantage. And I can buy sovereignship. So now it's a matter of timing, of waiting for the sovereign to either croak or essentially take him out myself. And like I was saying before, unfortunately the game saved and the game started patching before I went back to it after I had played in this session. Just upsetting, but not much I can do. So you can see how I'm just taking down these guys that keep breaking into my buildings, and I'm not happy with it.
You have a mission for me.
I really should be looking back on this. I should just be chain firing, hiring a new guy, and just sending him over to hit the Conquest building. That's probably the best way to do it in the future. But here you can see that I went to the Baronship, and I believe I still buy a mercenary den versus actually taking over and then selling their building. Little bit of a mistake, but not much I can do. So there it is. There's the mercenary quarters that was bought. And right now it's set to extort protection money, but I actually want to be upgrading the garrison on this, simply considering I want to have them to guard buildings and protect, so that way when thieves come down to break in, they attack the thieves and win. And I upgrade the building security, and it still doesn't do anything as people still break into it. I honestly do not think that building security makes it good enough for the thieves. I honestly think that that needs to be upgraded a little bit more. And there we have Caroline, where Ankim is right here and about to catch her off guard. We're going to see if that fight actually starts, and there it is. Boom, minus 56 health. Yeah, there she goes, minus 82. She's done. And I can see a guard running by, and just let him pass, let him pass. It's a nice, quiet 3 in the morning. Guards have gone, and we are going to get away with this. However, the Sovereign is walking by. It was very good timing that it did not misclick, considering that could have been real bad. And there's another guard coming by, so I know... Okay, she's going to stand up, so I'm just going to... maybe just break the bones.
Good.
Then I go, break bones was still illegal. That's still a fine.
I'll wipe that smile off your face.
And let's attack her again. Boom, there she goes.
What is your desire?
Good.
Now, because I've already committed
You
an
have a
illegal
mission
act,
for me.
I might as well just finish her and basically do what I did before.
Good. Production
I
is being
rob her,
halted.
and then I end her. And there she is. She's standing up again, and I attack her for a third time. 4 in the morning. Does not stand a chance, and here's where I just end. We've got witnesses, but it doesn't matter. The rest are Shadow Dynasties. I'm just going to let Trude pass by. And now that her distance has gone, funk. Nice little shank in the gut, and the gate guard is no more.
What
I
is
do
your
take
desire?
Angrim, or Anchim,
The leader
and
of
there we
another
have it.
dynasty
Another leader
died.
has bit the
A
dust.
building has
3
been
leaders!
upgraded.
But I take Anchim and I send him back to basically end all of his stuff, but bit of a mistake. I should have, looking back, just kept him the way he is, and just played the game as I own the courts. The courts are mine. He's innocent. So there's a ton of elections that I can vote for, but none of them are for me, unfortunately. So I just kind of choose the oldest of the characters, and I try to avoid the Teal Dynasty, considering the Teal Dynasty, or Cyan, I believe that color is. It's one of the two. It's I don't want to be giving them too much power, because they're already wealthy. And we empty Ankim, and oh, I can't take that plate off of him, which sucks. And this is where I realized that buying the plate is actually fairly healthy. And bam, you can see I caught a thief trying to break into my buildings, and the Lance Connect just beats him down. And we buy some peons, peons garments, and there we go. Ankim has made back some of the money for his armor, but it's unfortunately time to dismiss. And I should have sold the shield. I missed selling that, but it's fine. So I'm going to conquer this building, but this is going to be it for the video, unfortunately. There's not much else that happens aside from just conquering these 2 thieves' dens and just slowly preparing to take over the Sovereign and just picking them off the opposing dynasty one at a time. And unfortunately, like I said at the beginning of this video, I did not gather I let the game patch, and unfortunately I can't play this save file and get the Sovereign ship. But I basically won, as you can see. I just trashed this dynasty down, and I'm just slowly winning. And I was just waiting for the Sovereign to croak, or I could try and make him croak again on my own, and just using a couple of my guys to just shank him down. So if you guys enjoyed this series, let me know in the comments below what the next start should be. I'm really enjoying this new patch, and I'm looking forward to what you guys think. And there's another Thieves' Den that builds up, so I just said Dagobert to go down and conquer it the second it is finished. Like, this is costing you money. If you guys would like to help support the channel, there's a link to a coffee shop down below, and it would help if you guys liked and subscribed. And with this, take care, everyone. I'll see you for the next one.